Hi everyone, welcome back and thank you for being here. If you had listened to my previous video, you will know that starting today, I'm going to dissect Harold's narrative in his book with regards to his relationship with Mog, to what we heard before, what we know, and what we can prove, as well as a few pieces of gossip you may or may not have heard before. I'm also issuing a warning to you that to not only listen to me, but also to watch the screen. I may not always talk about what I'm showing you, and as you may guess, or do I have to say it, for legal reasons and because of YouTube rules and criteria. So there you have it. So Harold starts his narrative by telling us that he was sitting in Nottingham Cottage scrolling through Instagram when he saw a video of his friend Violet and a young woman. Yes, folks, young. But we all know we have to make that 35 years old at least. They were playing with filters, and both of them had dog ears and noses and tongues hanging out. He says he has traveled the world, saw a conveyor belt of faces passing by, and only a handful made him stop and look twice. But this woman with Violet smashed the conveyor belt as he had never seen anyone so beautiful. Okay, I've promised you receipts, so here they are. All the girls who made Harold's conveyor belt stop: Natalie Pinkham, Cassie Sumner, Chelsea Davy, Astrid Harbord, Carolyn Flack, Molly King, Camilla Romstrand, Florence Brunel Bruce, Cressida Bonus, Ellie Golding, etc. Now, although many of them were models, actresses, presenters, fashionistas, and socialites, they all had a look, a certain type of look, didn't they? They could easily be seen as distant cousins, so to speak. Would I be out of line if I said Mog was likely not the most beautiful woman Harold has ever seen? Anyway, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. He says he sent Violet a message and asked her who the woman was, and she said she is an American actress from Suits. According to Harold, he was the sixth person to ask Violet who she was. Anyway, Harold was on his way to Sir Keith Mill's home. Mog started texting him, and he texted back, and this marathon texting began on the 1st of July 2016. Of course, on Mommy's birthday. Okay. Oh, wow. What a coincidence. How magical. Oh, he Googled her. He asked to meet her, and she suggested they meet at his place. Yes, folks, according to Harold, when he asked where Mog suggests they meet, she suggested his place. I guess Mog did not realize that you treat a prince a little differently from your usual clients. Anyway, Harold said it was not appropriate for a first date, and she suggested Soho House at 76 Dean Street. She would reserve a table for them, just the two of them, all alone. Now, I refer you to the engagement interview. The interviewer asked, "But the friend who introduced you, was she trying to set you up?" And Mog answered, "Yes, it was definitely a setup. It was a blind date." But in the book, Harold says they texted for a day and he Googled her. And in the Netflix series, she said she asked for access to his Instagram page and looked at the pictures before agreeing to a date. So no, technically, it wasn't a blind date. Harold knew what she looked like. She knew what he looked like. He knew who she was and what she did for a living. And she knew who he was. But you guys, everyone else are missing something else. Remember the Oprah interview? Here is what Meghan told Oprah. Eugenie and I had known each other before I knew Harry, so that was comfortable. So we don't exactly know when or how Mog met Eugenie. But remember, Mog also knew Violet and Misha Nunu before she met Harold, and all three of them have links to Soho House and Marcus Anderson. Need I remind you that Eugenie knows Marcus so well that she invited him to her wedding? I was also told that before, a couple of months before this first date, one of these women, be it Eugenie, Violet, or Misha, I don't know, I think it was Misha, but I do not know this for a fact, also suggested Harold meet their friend, and he said no. I heard there was a previous attempt to set them up, but Harold did not pay attention. I heard that the message was something like, I don't know the exact words, but the message was something like, not his type. I was also told that they were alone, but not alone. Marcus did set them up in a private area, but allegedly there was backup in the form of some of their friends having drinks next door. I really laughed when I read how Harold recited Mog's CV in the book. Actress, lifestyle writer, travel writer, corporate spokesperson, entrepreneur, activist, model, worked for the United States Embassy in Argentina, lived in various countries. Indeed, Harold found his CV dizzying. Yeah, well, so do I, because most of it is not true. And idiot Harold still believes all of it to this day. Yes, that indeed is truly dizzying. Yes, she was an actress. Remember? 1, 2, 3, left eye cry. Model. Yeah, well, it's sexy open-legged shoots for a men's magazine counts and short ads for a clothing chain store counts. Well, then I guess we can call her a model. But Kate Moss, she is not. Lifestyle writer and travel writer. Yeah, on her own blog. Entrepreneur. Really? I guess if making and selling scrunchies counts, or does it? Well, if it does, then we can call her an entrepreneur because that's the only thing I know of that she created and sold. Anyway, corporate spokesperson. Yeah, indeed. Advertising poo drops. Activist. Oh, really? When did she ever carry a placard for anything? Working for the United States Embassy? No, she was an intern for 6 weeks and did not even pass her entrance test. Living in various countries. Which ones? The United States and Canada? Is Harold so dumb he does not even know that all it takes to go from one to the other is to cross a bridge? Dear Harold, spending a few weeks or even a few months in a country does not mean you live there. If it did, then I could comfortably say I lived in more countries than Mog. Oh, the gaslighting. Poor idiot Harold. And of course, she did not stay long for that first date. I mean, she had to play hard to get, but also had to leave with a final, lasting impression. Yeah, as she left, she said she'll send Violet flowers, none other than peonies, Diana's favorite. Harold left and went to a mate and told him about the date. And did you hear how I made that into a rhyme? Anyway, he drank tequila and smoked weed. Oh, how wonderful. Second date, again, Soho House. Harold brought red, white, and blue cupcakes because it was the 4th of July, American Independence Day. Second date, yet at the end, Mog puts her hand to her cheek and gasps, "What are we going to do? I live in Canada." Oh my, the gaslighting. But you know what? The gods and the universe, or was it Mummy, was on their side because they had the same week off. Oh my, wow. Anyway, so Harold invited her to Botswana where they shared a tent, and Harold lost his ball. This time, not to Frostnip, but to a black widow spider. Okay, I'm only joking. It's not in the book. Okay. Then the next visit, Soho again. And then Harold entertains with a bit of soft porn. Yes, folks. Yes, folks. They were so glad to see one another. They did not have time to put a do not disturb sign on the door and only phoned for room service the next morning. They then went to Notcott, where Mog made a salmon dinner. Harold was so embarrassed by his digs. According to Harold, the rooms are small and the ceilings low. Now, my dears, Nottingham Cottage has 2 bedrooms and measures 1,324 square feet. Well, I lived in a home with 2 children, which was about half that size. Anyway, according to Harold's wife, Harold knocked his head regularly because ceilings and doorways are so low. But then people taller than Harold, like his brother William, lived there before and did not walk about with lumps on their heads. Anyway, they had Eugenie and Jack and Charlie over for dinner, drank tequila afterward, and Mog got sick. So sick that Harold had to hold her hair while she vomited. How romantic. After Mog left this time, Harold finally told William and Kate about Mog. Harold learned that William and Kate were not regular viewers of Suits. Nay, they watched it religiously, and now Harold feared that William and Kate will hound her for autographs. Oh, God. Now bear in mind, 2 dates, 1 week in Botswana, 1 visit back in London, and Harold was already sharing his dreams, namely joining William and Kate as equal partners to become a foursome. No wonder William cautioned him to slow down, telling him the woman is an American actress, has a career, and anything can still happen. Yet Harold was offended because he knew. A week later, Mog was back. Harold decided to introduce Mog to the rest of the family. Their first stop was Royal Lodge, and surprise, surprise, Granny was there. Fergie came out and quickly showed Mog how to curtsy. Walking in, They quickly instructed Mogg how to address the Queen. First, you say, Your Majesty, and thereafter, Ma'am, rhyming with ham. What I find crazy is that Harold was irritated with another person being there, a friend of Fergie's, and he says he looked him up and down, looked at him hard, thinking, brilliant, congratulations on being present for one of the most consequential moments of my life. Oh God. I find it rather strange he didn't say one of the most consequential moments in history. Such is his delusion. Unbelievable. So nobody is allowed to have guests, just in case Harold and Mogg pops around. Really? Granny stayed another 20 minutes, and then Mogg asked Harold about the Queen's assistant, the man holding her purse and walking her to the door. No, Harold said, that is her second son, Andrew. O.B.S. Gaslight, nuclear bomb, BS. Mogg read books on Diana. We know that. We saw that. We saw one on her shelf. We had numerous friends of her telling us that they were aware of her reading the books. We also have a friend who told us that they watched a video on Charles and Diana's wedding, and another friend who said that they watched the funeral. Not only did she read books on Diana, but she says she also met Eugenie. And we know that she met some high powered people in Canada, like Justin Trudeau. And also, according to her, that she studied international studies. So, after all of that, you want to tell me she did not know who Andrew was? And besides, what kind of man was Harold not introducing Mogg to everybody present? It's bad manners. So, idiot, Harold, or are they once again lying to debunk the stories, the gossip out there that she had previous interactions with Andrew via Epstein? He also tells how, when they met up with William briefly, how William recoiled when Mogg hugged him. Well, all I can say is that William has a better sixth sense than Harold, and we'll leave it there. He talks about him taking Mogg to meet his father and Camilla, and although on face value there isn't much to it, if read again, Harold's childish nastiness, well, just utter immature expectations, shines through like a warning sign ahead of some major roadworks. The dangerous and destructive road he was heading on has obviously already started at this point, and he was stupidly already barreling down it at a high speed without any caution or forethought. Harold says he told Mogg to wear her hair down because Pa and Granny liked it that way, and Granny often commented on Kate's beautiful mane. He told her to wear little makeup because Pa did not approve of a lot of makeup. He told her to curtsy to Pa and say, Your Royal Highness, followed with a handshake, and thereafter to call him Sir. But he told her not to curtsy to Camilla. He said it was not necessary. Okay? He talks about flying to Toronto in October 2016, but at the very least, in an effort, I guess, to be a little honest for a change, he at least mentions that it wasn't the first time. Yes, Harold didn't or wouldn't write about the first time he went to Toronto Willie, because at the time Mog was still living with Corey, wasn't she? Yes, indeed, she was. But of course, Harold won't talk about that. Anyway, it talks about the Halloween party they attended with Eugenie and Jack. Then the news broke of the relationship. In the next video, I'll talk about that, and I have collected some material I would like you to see. So until then, please take good care of yourself. Bye.